Okay, so file, open folder, and then desktop, PC, and then select folder. Okay, so how many files do we need to create? How many files do we need to create?
2.
2, yeah. And those would be, the first one would be,
Index,
yeah, index, good, index.html, good, and the second one would be,
styles,
yeah, styles dot css. Okay, so how do I generate my boilerplate?
the exclamation point,
Yeah, good, the exclamation mark, save it, and let's rename our website to be, let's say, Pearl, and then continental, I guess these are the spelling, yeah, save it. And how do we start our website?
go live,
Yeah, good, go live, click, and yeah, this is our website. Okay, so let's also change our icon as well. This icon, what is this icon called? The one in the title. What do we call this?
the favicon,
Yeah, good, the favicon. So this is the image, so I'm gonna copy it. Copy image address, and where do I paste this image? And how do I paste this image?
put it inside the head,
Yeah, good, inside the head. And how do I put it?
the image tag,
Not the image tag. There's another tag.
the link,
Yeah, good, the link. But it's a special link. Which one? The favicon one. So link favicon, and inside the href I'm gonna paste it and save it, and now we have this site. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, again I'm gonna repeat it again. So we have to start designing from the top section. Okay, so at the top we are seeing this nav bar. Okay, so how many divs you are seeing inside the nav bar, or not inside the nav bar? How many divs do you see, like in the beginning? Like what's the first step? How many divs? Let me open the pane as well. So yeah, how many divs do we have?
one,
One. Yeah, good. One. Nine or one?
one,
One. Okay. So let me. Yeah, this one. Okay. So how many divs inside this div? Just recording is started. And how many divs are inside this?
2,
No, inside the nav bar.
or in the nav bar,
Yeah, in the nav bar.
3,
3. Good. Very good. So we have one, we have the second one, and we have the third one. And how do we know that? Because of the space here. So one, then inside we have this image, and then the right one, 3. Okay, so how many divs do we have inside the left div? How many divs?
3,
Yeah, good, 3. So one for the icon, one for the story, and one for the brands. Yeah, and inside the middle one, how many do we have? Simply we have one image. And let's move towards the right one. How many divs do you think we have inside the right one? Think of like a group. Okay, you have to group certain elements, the similar elements, you have to group them. So how many divs do you think we
4
have?
or 5,
1 2 3 4 5. How 5? How can, how are you saying it 5?
the USD,
Okay,
and
so
then the magnifying the microphone, the phone,
okay, these
that's the
count up
second
to
one.
4, and okay, the USD and these icons count up to 4, and then
Oh wait, there's no space between them.
so would it be a one div, or okay, we can do it like this. Okay, so this USD and PKR can be grouped into one. Yes, so that is one div.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are these icons related? Are they similar?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can group them in one div. Okay, what about these two? Are these similar? Like both of them are
No.
buttons. Kind of like similar. They are kind of like similar. So
Oh.
like both of them are buttons. So we can, we can have separate divs for them. but we can also make them into a single group. So we have how many divs? We have 3 divs inside the third one. So USD and PKR, we can sum it up inside the single group, and then the second one, and then these buttons. Okay, so inside the first one, how many do we have? The divs. This one.
2.
2, yeah, good. So the USD and the PKR. What about the second group?
3.
3, good. So magnifying glass, the microphone, and the phone. What about this third one?
2.
2, yeah, 2 buttons. So we have the sign in button and we have the book now button. Okay, so this is our layout. Okay, so we have created the layout. The harder part is done, and now we have to code it. Okay, here inside the body. So today we are going to discuss some new things as well. Okay, we are not just creating another website, we are now going to discuss some new things. Okay, so we have discussed about the tags, the divs, and elements like that. Okay, today we are going to create the same thing. Okay, just like we have created the KFC site, but using semantic tags. Okay, this is a new word, this is a new concept in web development. So what do you think semantic would refer to? Like what does it generally refer to?
The word semantic?
The word semantic.
Like sentimental?
Sentimental.
Having meaning?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like that. So basically, what would semantic tags would refer to then?
Like the heading?
Kind of like that. Yeah. So heading does make sense to a human as well, right?
Yeah.
What about div? Does div make sense to a human? It doesn't, yeah. So div is not a semantic tag. So basically, semantic tags are those tags that as a machine your computers understand, and as a human you also understand those words. So those semantic tags include like a lot of tags. So one of them is a header. So as a human, do I understand what a header would refer to?
Yeah.
Yeah, what does a header refers to? Something that is
The
placed.
top.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good, exactly. So that's exactly what machine understands it as well. Okay, so basically using those tags that as a machine understands, and as a human you understand it too. So basically using these tags you improve your SEO. What is SEO? We have discussed about it, I guess, in first
The
class.
search engine optimization.
Yeah, exactly. Good. And what does SEO do?
It helps to show.
It helps you show what? Yeah, you close. It helps to show our website on where. Like it basically ranks our website. Okay, so maybe the website we are making, maybe 100 people have already made it. So we want our website to be displayed on top. When somebody searches about our website should be displayed on top. So basically SEO helps in that. And when you use semantic tags, your SEO improves, the website's SEO improves, and if the SEO improves, your website is displayed on top. So that's basically what we want to do, okay, by using semantic tags. Okay, so semantic tags include a lot of stuff like header, footer, like section, article, aside. These are some tags. Basically semantic tags are like divs. Okay, they are not different from divs, but basically they add meaning to your website. Okay, for example, what is this section, the one we are creating right now? What is this section?
The nav bar?
Exactly, the nav bar. So basically the semantic tag for nav bar is nav. Okay, so this is also a div. This is simply a div, but it's a semantic div which helps improve our SEO. Okay, does that make any sense?
So basically you're saying if it's nav, just like a human would automatically know that's for the nav bar?
Exactly, not just a human, the browser as well.
The browser as well, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So basically it's a div, but a semantic div, and it helps your website to have a better SEO. Okay, so let me add the comment as well. How do we add the comments? What's the shortcut for adding the comments, and what are comments?
Control plus forward slash.
Yes, control plus forward slash. And what do comments do? What are commands for?
Does it gives like instructions?
Yeah, exactly. Good. It gives basically the instructions, or basically it tells you what this code is going to do. Okay. Okay. So inside the navbar, when I've declared the navbar, I've basically declared this div. Okay. So inside this div, we have three divs. We can make name it left. Let's name it mid, and let's name this one. What would this one be named then? If this is left, this is mid, and this one would be
Right.
right. Good. So let's go with dot left. It's gonna create a div with the name of left. And okay, so basically the semantic divs should be the main divs. Okay, the main divs should be named with the semantic tags. Okay, inside these divs you can use divs. Okay, there's no problem. Okay, so the middle one would, let's name it mid, and the right one, let's name it right. Yeah, save it. Okay, so now we have created these three as well. Let me put a check mark here. Okay, so inside the left one we have three divs. Now I'm not going to name it. You have to tell me the names of these one. What should we name this one? This icon, this one. What should we name it?
List.
Yeah, we can name it list. So inside the left, or we can name it more specifically. We can say list and then dash icon. Okay, so basically we would have list later on as well. So let's name list and then icon. Okay, what should we name this one? What should we name it? Like, give me a sensible name. Like the name itself is saying the
Story.
name. Yeah, we can name it story. Okay, let's name it story. And what about this one?
Brands.
Brands. Yeah, so dot brands. Okay, great. So inside the left div, we now have created three divs. Okay, so any problem until this point? Any problem? Okay, great. Okay, so inside the mid one we only have this image. So right click, copy image address. So inside the mid one we're gonna say image and paste it, and let's give it a width of maybe 150 pixels maybe. Yeah, and in the alternative we are gonna say loop. Yeah, middle section is also completed. So inside the right one, now right one has a lot of work to do. So how many divs do we have inside the right one? Three. Yeah, good. So what should we name this one? This one. Give me
PKR.
PKR. So what about the USD? USD is gonna be left out.
USD.
So what about PKR then? We have to give a name that basically complements both of these. What are they? The USD and PKR. What are they?
Currency.
Yeah, good. Currency. So we can name what? We can name them currency. Okay. What about the next section? This one. These three. What should we name them? There's actually a quote about naming. So basically, there's a programmer. I think I've already told you guys about this. So basically, that programmer says that the most difficult part about programming is giving names, and that is actually true, to be honest. So what should
Yeah,
we name
like
this?
what name would we give them together?
Yeah.
Can we give them
Like
vertical line?
Vertical lines?
What about
Yeah,
logos?
I'm talking about all of this, like all of this group.
Oh,
This one. Wait, let me.
Maybe headset.
Wait, let me.
Right.
Right div? Just these icons. What should I name? Just these icons. These one.
Icon.
But there will be icons later on as well. Maybe like in the, yeah. These are icons as well. So
I don't know,
it's
like voice.
boys. How does boys make any sense?
Not for that. Just never mind.
So let's name it maybe nav icons. Okay. Yeah, that makes a little sense. So let's name them nav icons. Okay. And what about these? These two, like they are in a single group. So what should we name them? Maybe let's say nav variants. So nav dash variants. Okay, now structure is complete. Okay, now we have to put stuff inside these divs. Okay, the structure is totally complete. So let's move towards the putting stuff inside them. So this icon, how do we get this icon? How do we get it? Where do we get our icons from?
Bootstrap.
Yeah, Bootstrap. So I'm just gonna go to Bootstrap and icons. So what do I need to paste first? What should I do in order to use these icons? First I have to do what?
Copy the code.
Which code?
The CDN one.
Yeah, good, the CDN. So I'm not just gonna scroll down. Okay, so you can just press Control F and you can search the entire page. Okay, whatever you want to search. So what do I want to search? I want to search CDN, and here it is. Okay, so I'll just copy this one, and then where do I paste it? Where do I paste the CDN? Links are always pasted.
The head.
Yeah, in the head. Save it. Okay, so let's search for list. I'm gonna say list. Well, there's a lot of lists, so maybe search the Bootstrap using Bootstrap search input. So I'll just search for list. There's not that list we want, so maybe let's copy this one. Yeah, let's do this one this time. So copy it and paste it inside the list icon. Save, navigate. Okay, can you see it? Can you see the icon? It's small, but I guess it's quite visible. Here it is. Okay. Okay, so let's go with the next. Yeah, what is this? Our story. What is this element? Which element can we use for this our story?
H3.
H3 sounds good. So inside the story we're gonna say H3 and it'll say our story. Yeah, H3 is good. Next one is our brand. So inside the brands I'm gonna put H3 again and I'll say our brands. Save it, and yeah, it's good. So where is the image? Like I've pasted the image here. Look, I've pasted the image here. So why can't I see the image? Like this is the actual image. Okay, I've copied the image and pasted in my code. Look, here's the image. So why can't I see the image? Why do you think?
Is it because of height?
No. Image is there. I can show you the image is there, but why can't I see it? Here's the actual image.
The color?
Yeah,
Background?
good. Exactly, the color. The color of the image is white, and the background is white as well. So that's why I can see it. But you can see, like, I can wait. Let me select it. Yeah, can you see this one? Okay, so the image is there, but because of the color, I can't see it. Okay, so when we put the background to be black, it'll be visible. So don't worry about that. Okay, let's move towards the right section. Okay, so inside the currency we have two things. We have the USD and we have the PKR. So what is this USD and PKR? Which element is this? The currency, yeah. So which element is this? The USD and PKR. Are they the same or are they different?
They're the same.
Well, this USD is bigger than the PKR.
Oh yeah.
That is bold.
Both of them are bold, but the size, there's a difference between the sizes. So what do you think? How can we achieve this? This one is bigger than the PKR. So inside the currency, now I'm not gonna tell you guys. You have to tell me. What should we do?
Was it? Is it sub?
No, the sub is used for when you have something that is inside a single line. They are not
Is it
inside
the
a single
height?
line. No, not the height. We can use different elements for them. Maybe we can use H4 for this one and H5 for this one. It will automatically be bigger than this one would be bigger and this one would be smaller. Okay, so we can use, let's say, H4 for USD and then H5 for PKR. Okay, so here you go. Not USD. So yeah, so USD is bigger than the PKR. And if you want to make it more smaller, we can change this H5 to H6. And now this one, yeah, this one seems good. Okay. So now these icons. So what do you think this icon would be called? Think of a name. What should it be called? Give me a name so I can
Search.
search it. Yeah, search. So let's search for search. So yeah, this one. I need this one. So click it and copy. Inside the nav icons, you're gonna put this. Okay. What should this one be called? This one is a microphone. So let's search for mic. Which one was it? Was it filled or unfilled? Wait, let me. Yeah, it's unfilled. So mic, copy, and then paste. And then the next time, make sure you're inside the nav icons because all of these icons are part of this nav icons div. The next one is this phone icon. So I'll search for phone and where is it? Yeah, this one. Telephone. Copy. Paste. Okay, so icons are this. So I haven't put display flex on these icons. Why are they side by side? Although I haven't put display flex. That's a big question. Why are they side by side when I haven't put display flex?
Is it by default?
Why is that? There's a special reason for that. Like why?
Because app bar, but it's already.
No. We have discussed about this concept. Like this branch is not aligned with our story. Like we have a lot of space here, so this brand should come here. But why isn't this brand aligned with our story side by side? Whereas these icons are aligned side by side, although I haven't put display flex on them. It's a really big concept, and we have discussed about this. We have discussed about this, and I'm not gonna move forward unless you answer me first. So what's the concept?
Is it the display block?
Yeah, good, very good. So which one is display
Like
block?
by default?
Yeah, this one is display block by default, or this one? The icons or the heading? What does display block mean? Like there's one display block, and what was the other one? We had this.
Inline?
Yeah,
Icons are
good. The
display
inline.
block.
Yeah, good. The icons are display inline. So basically, block is going to take up entire space of the screen, and it's not going to allow any other element to be aligned with it. Whereas the display inline is going to take only as much space as that there is content inside it, and it's going to allow other elements to be aligned beside them. So basically, these icons are display inline by default. So that's why these icons are side by side. Okay, so that's the reason, because they are inline. Okay, so let's move towards this. We have two buttons here. Okay, you can make it a div or you can make it a button, it's up to you, but let's make it a button because that seems more sensible, because it's clickable. Okay, so inside the nav buttons, I'm gonna make a button, and I'm gonna give it a class of, let's say, sign in, and it'll say sign in. And make sure you're inside the same nav buttons because both of them are the part of the same thing. So I'm going to say button with the class of button dot and then book. So basically short for book now. So it'll say book now. Save it, and yes, we have our structure ready. So any problem about this structure? So all we did is make a bunch of divs and put the content inside those divs. So any question about this? Now if you were to create this nav bar, by getting all the concepts, so making the rest of the website would be really easy for you. But this nav bar is the main thing inside any website. Okay, so the nav bar and the footer are the main sections inside the nav bar. If you were to create these, you would create the rest of the website. It will be easy for you. Okay, so let's start with the designing. So the first thing we want to do is we want to have all of them side by side. What should we do?
Display flex?
Yeah, good. Display flex. Display flex on what? On what should I apply display flex? Which element should be displayed flex? Come on, who's the parent? Who's the parent of left, mid, and right?
The nav bar.
The nav bar, yeah, the nav bar. So inside the styles.css, first we have to check whether our CSS is working or not. So I'm gonna test it by styling the body, and I'll say background color to be red. So it's not going to work. Why didn't it apply it on the body? Why do you think it happened? Like this isn't working. So why isn't CSS applied? We have again discussed about this. Like this is our index file, okay, and this is our styles file. This is HTML file, this is CSS file. So
Oh, they're both not connected.
yeah, they're both not connected. We have to connect them. So how do we connect them? By using which tag?
Style.
We have to connect them using the link tag. Okay, so we have to link both of these files. So this is HTML file, this is CSS file. Both of them are different. Like they don't know what's happening to the other file. The CSS doesn't know what's happening in HTML. The HTML doesn't know what's happening in CSS. So we have to link both of them if we want to make them collaborate with each other. So inside the HTML, I'm gonna put the link tag just by writing link. Okay, let me do it again. I'll just write link and press enter. Inside this href, I'm gonna put the path of the styles file, CSS file. So what is the CSS file named? What is the name of CSS file?
Styles.
Styles. So I'll write here what? Styles dot
CSS.
Yes. Save it, and here you go. So your CSS is linked up to your HTML. So the test is complete. So I'll select nav bar now. So what should I write? Dot nav or hash nav? Like this is your nav bar. Okay, this is your nav bar. So I want to select this nav bar. What should I write? Dot nav or hash nav?
Dot nav.
When do we use nav or dot? Sorry, when do we use dot? Inside.
When it's a class.
Very good. When it's a class. So is nav a class?
No, it's a div. No.
It's a simple div. Yeah. So how do we select just the div?
Just write nav.
Yeah, good. We'll just write nav because it's an element. It's not a class. It's not an ID. It's just an element. So we'll just write nav, and then we'll just say display to be flex. So they're side by side, but they're not side by side. Are they side by side or are they not? Let me put a background of black as well. So background color black, so I can see the image as well. And now I don't see the text. Why is that?
The color.
Yeah, the color. So I'm gonna say the color inside the nav should be white. Like the text color should be white. Okay. So the image is too big. Let me resize the image first. So maybe let's say 100px. Yeah, it's good now. Okay, so the children of the nav are side by side. The left, the mid, and the right. They're side by side. So the next thing I want to do is I want to spread them. How do I spread them? Like how do I spread something horizontally? How do I do that?
Justify content.
Very good. Justify content. So inside the nav, I'm gonna say justify content, and what should be the value? Like this is the actual
Space around.
Space around. Very good. So I'll just say space around because we have space from the left and the right side. Okay. So I'll just save it, and here you go. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. So why aren't these left and the right aligned horizontally? Why aren't they aligned in a row? Like I did put the display of flex, so why aren't these aligned side by side?
They have a different parent.
Yeah, exactly. Good. They have a different parent. And what's the name of these children's parent? What's the name of
Left.
Yeah, good. Left.
I think it was left.
So I'm gonna say left and comma dot right. What does this mean?
You're gonna put it together.
Yeah, good. So it's gonna select the left and the right. Okay. and then I'll say display to be flex, and yeah, it's good. So there's a problem here, and what is the problem?
There's no gap.
Okay, there's no gap, so let's put the gap. Where do I put the gap? Maybe let's say inside the left and right. So I'll say gap, and maybe let's do rem. Yeah, the gap's good, but there is another problem, the big problem. What is that? You guys are now designers as well, along with the developers. So what?
Yeah. They're not aligned.
Very good. They're not aligned. So how do we align them?
So align item.
Very good. Align items. So inside the left and right, I'm gonna say align items to be center. So now they are aligned, like the left and the right is aligned, but the image and the left and right aren't aligned. Why is that? Because they have a different parent.
Different parent.
Yeah, good. So nav is the parent. So inside the nav, we're gonna say align items in the center. Like the left, the image, and the right one should be aligned center, in the center. So yeah, they're aligned perfectly. That's good. So the alignment is complete. So basically everything is done by flex. Okay, there's no different properties. There are no unique properties. There's only flex. All you can see is flex, and flex has perfectly aligned everything. Okay, but there is a problem here. Can you guys see this space here? This one, the white one from the top section and the left section.
Yeah.
Why do you think this space? Why do you think we have space from the top and the left and right section? Because by default, I've told you guys something about the spaces. By default, every element have some margin and have some padding. So how do we remove the margin and padding from each element? How do we do that? And we have did this in the previous website. Do you guys remember how do we remove the margin and padding from each element? So what we can do is we're gonna come at the top and I'll say asterisk. Okay, the star is gonna select everything. We have discussed about this, have we?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. So I'm gonna say M0, margin 0, and I'll say padding 0. Save it. So here you go. Now by default, the margin that we had, it's gone. Okay. What now I want is, I want to have some space inside the nav bar, like they're touching the borders. I don't want that. So how do I do that?
Padding?
Yeah, good, the padding. So inside the nav bar, I'll say the padding to be maybe, let's say 1 rem. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Okay, so let's maybe now focus on the font style. Yeah, our fonts are really bad. They're not looking good. So I'll just target the body, and I'll say, what's the property for changing the font style? What's the property for that? For changing the font styles? Come on guys, we have talked about this. We have studied like multiple times about this. Like how do we change the fonts? Google Fonts, we have to paste the link and all of the other stuff. I just want the pre-built font family. Yes, font family. So I'll say, let's say sans serif. It's pre-built. So yeah, it's good now. Okay, so the next thing we want is, what do you see here? Like how is the text? Is it uppercase, lowercase? Is it capitalized?
It's uppercase.
Uppercase. So what's the property for making the text uppercase? So inside the left and right.
Text transform.
Yeah, good. Text transform uppercase. Yeah, it's good, but I think H3 is too big, so maybe change it to H4. So yeah, here H4, and this one as well, H4. Yeah, now it's good. Okay, so the left section is, I think it's good apart from the icon. So I want to target this icon. So what's the name of this icon? I guess it's named, list icon. So let me copy this, and I'll say the list icon should have a font size of maybe 1.5 frame, and now it's looking good. Okay, so let's move towards the right section. Is the image in the mid? This image, is it in the mid?
Kinda.
Wait, let me put the pesticide on. Yeah, it's kind of like in the mid, maybe. Yeah, I think it's in mid. Okay, so this one, the currency, it's not aligned perfectly. What should I do? Like they're on the left side. I want this PKR to be aligned in the center. How should I do that?
Text align.
Very good, text align. On what? What was this div called? This one. Currency, yeah. So I'm gonna say dot currency to have a text align of center. Yeah, it's perfect. Now I want this PKR, if you guys see here, it's grayish. So I want this to be gray, just the PKR. So what should I do?
Color.
No. I want to target this. I do know that this one is gray, but maybe let's say pick this exact color. So Colorzilla, and I want this gray color. Yeah, this one. Okay. So what should I target? If I were to target currency, both of the USD and PKR are going to be targeted. I just want the PKR. So what was this PKR in? Yeah, it was in H6. So what I'll say here is I'm gonna say dot currency space H6. So it'll target only the H6 that is inside the currency, and I'll say color to be this one, the one I copied. Yeah, it's good, but there's a problem. This one should be bold. How should I do that? How should I make something bold?
Font weight.
Yeah, good, font weight. So I'm gonna say font dash weight to be bolder. Yeah, maybe the size isn't much, so that's why it's not working good. So let's say font size, so maybe is 1.3 rems. That's too big. Maybe 0.8 rems, so we can see it's bold. Okay, it's not getting bold, so maybe let's put a number here, maybe 900. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so let's move towards these icons. These icons need to be bigger. So what should I put? What's the property for making them bigger?
The width.
What are icons? Are they images or are they fonts? Okay, they are fonts. Yeah, good. So I'm gonna say nav icons. The parent for these icons were nav icons, and I'll say the font size to be 1.5 frames, same as the list icon. Yeah, it's good. Great. Okay, so how do I get this one? The lines. How do you think we can do that? Now you guys have already studied about this. I'm not gonna tell you guys this time. You have to tell me. Like, how do I get these lines? Like they're on the left and right side of this social icons. Sorry, nav icons.
Is it HR or VR?
No. HR is basically the horizontal line. These ones are vertical. So how do you think we can do that? It's quite simple.
Is it VH? Is it the key on the keyboard?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's a very good point. But no, it's not that. What is that? So, for example, if I were to do this, if I were to say border, 1 pixel, solid, and then white, what would happen is it's gonna have this border on all 4 sides. But what would happen if I were to say border dash left? What do you think would happen now?
It will only be on the left side?
Yeah, exactly. So do we have a vertical bar? What about the right side now? How do we do that?
Border right.
Yeah, good, exactly. So I'm gonna copy it down. What's the shortcut for copying it down? The entire line. What's the shortcut for that? You guys haven't forgotten about these shortcuts, right?
Is it Control Z?
It's gonna undo it. I want to copy it down. I think these holidays does took a toll on you. What was the shortcut for copying something down, the line down. Like it was shift and then there was another key. It was shift, alt, arrow down. Okay, so I'll just say right. Okay, so now we do have these lines on the left and the right side. So the problem is, how do we put space inside these lines? Like I want to have some space from the inside. How do we do that? How do we put space, inside this?
The gap.
Uh-huh. Okay, we can't apply gap because
Oh,
this.
padding.
Yeah, good, padding. Very good. So we can say padding, and I'm gonna say 0 and 1 rem. What would this mean? What does this mean? This 0 and 1 rem. So 0 from where?
From
From.
the top.
Yeah,
and then
good.
Right,
Very good. No, 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 not top and right.
top and bottom.
and
Yeah,
bottom.
top and bottom, and 1 from left and right. So now we have this space. Okay.
Wait, so if you put 4 numbers, it's gonna target top, right, bottom, left,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. But we don't
Okay.
want to target top and bottom. We just want the space from the left and right. So that's why I've put 0 here.
Okay.
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 Okay. So there's another thing. I want to have gap between these icons as well. How do I do that? How do I put, some spacing between these icons?
Gap.
Yeah, that's exactly the property, but gap is not going to work. For example, if I were to put gap here and maybe let's say 10 rem, it's too much, but it's not going to work. Why do you think gap isn't working? There's a really good reason for that. Why do you think gap isn't working? Gap is a property of which property? You can't apply gap.
Display flex?
Yeah, exactly. Good. You cannot apply gap unless you have applied display flex. So that's why gap isn't working. Gap only works if you have a display of flex inside the icon. So now we have this gap, but we don't want that much gap. So maybe let's say only 1 rem. Yeah, it's good. So we're almost complete here. So just we're left with the buttons here. So yeah, let's target the sign in button first. So let me target the sign in button. I guess what was the button name? Yeah, it was named sign in. What happened? Oh, your cargo call ends in 15 minutes. We have time. Okay, we got sign in. Okay, so what's the styling for this button? What should we do in order to make our this button look like this button? What should we do?
Like background color?
Yeah, good, very good. Background color. What's the background color?
Black?
It isn't black. It's transparent. We don't want any color.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, it's good now. So what happened here is, what's the problem here?
It's over the sign in button, you can't see it?
Yeah. So why can't I see it? And what's the solution for that? Like basically the color and the background color are same, so
Are the
that's why I
same?
can see it. So I'll put just color white. Okay.
Or is it better to put color first, or does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. You can, it could be in any order. Okay, the color could come first, or the background could come first. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay.
So I want it to be bigger. What should I do?
Padding?
Bigger. The size.
The width.
The size. The sign-in size.
Font size?
Yeah, good. The font size. The font size maybe let's say 1.5 rem. No, that's too much. Maybe 1.2 rem. Yeah, it's good. So now I want this to be like this. It's uppercase. So what's the property for that? It has text transform to be uppercase. Yeah, it's good. I want it to be bold. And I guess font size is too much. Maybe 1 rem is good. Yeah. How do I make it bold? It's the font weight to be bolder. Yeah, it's good. Now what's this this black kind of stuff around it?
The border.
Yeah, good, the border. So I'll just say border to be none. Yeah, it's good. So now this button, the book now button. So what was the name of the book now button? It was book only. So I'll just say book. And what's the styling for book? It has a background
Color.
of white. So I'll just say background to be white. And what more do I need?
The font size.
Or font size, yeah. So font size should be exactly like the other button. So it was
One
1 rem.
rem.
Yeah, good. So what more?
Text, the text transform.
Yeah, the text transform, good.
Uppercase.
Look, is it uppercase?
Oh no.
What is it then? What was it called? The first letter of every word.
Capitalized?
Yeah, good, the capitalized. So I'm gonna say text transform capitalized. Yeah. So what more?
We can't use padding, right?
No, we can. We have to use padding. You know,
Right.
all of this
Okay.
space is because of the padding. So we can use padding. Let's say maybe 0.7 rem from all of the sides. Maybe a bit more. 0.9. Yeah. Very good. So what now? What more?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you know how you hover over it and then it becomes black?
Yeah.
How would we do that on ours?
We're gonna do it just in a minute. Okay.
Okay.
It's quite easy. It's really easy to be honest. Okay. So so what now? What more do we need? Like this is their button and this is our button. We have something missing.
The height?
The height is, I think, is quite good. So what's the problem?
The border.
Yeah, good, the border. So I'll just say border to
It needs to
be.
be more rounded.
Yeah, good. So first we have to put the none, and then I'm gonna say the border
Border
radius.
radius?
Yeah, good. So maybe 5 px. Yeah, it's looking good. So I guess our size is quite big. The size for the padding is also too much. So maybe let's say the padding on the nav should be 0.5 maybe. And also there should be the button size should be smaller. So I'm gonna say not it shouldn't be 1 rem, it should be maybe 0.7 rem. Yeah, it's looking good now. And similarly with the sign in as well. So I'm gonna say 0.8 for this one. Yeah, it's looking good now. Okay, so I want space to be. I want to have space between them. What should I do? Look, we don't have any space. What should I do?
Margin.
Yeah, we can use margin. So inside the book, just the margin left. So I'm going to say margin left because I want to have space from this side. Margin left, maybe let's say 1 rem. Yeah, it's looking good now. Okay, so let's move towards some fancy stuff now. So when we hover upon this button, this book now button, it becomes black. Okay, and the foreground, the color of the button becomes the color of the text becomes white. So how can we do that? Like this. We have studied about this.
Hover?
Yeah,
Hover.
good. Hover on what? On which element do
On
we?
book?
Yeah, good. So I'm gonna say book, and then how do I put hover upon this?
Colin.
Very good. Colon, and then I'm gonna say hover. So what do we want to do in hover?
Background color?
Yeah, good. Very good. So I'm gonna say background. Background to be what? Black. So that's it. Look, it's getting black. But what do I want now?
You need to make the text white.
Very good. So I'm gonna say color to be white. So yeah, it's almost quite near, but there's a border as well. Yeah.
So you have to put border
Yeah.
white.
Border white. Very good. So I'm gonna say 1 pixel, solid and white. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Here you go. But there's a problem now. Look at their button, and if you were to see our button, it basically
It's slow.
It's slow, plus it pushes it away, pushes everything away. Can you see?
Oh yeah.
So why is it happening?
Yes.
What do you think? Why is it happening? So basically, it's happening because There's no border inside the actual button. Okay, this book doesn't have the border. Okay, we have put the border to be none. So when we hover upon this button, so it takes up the border. So basically it's increasing the width of the button by 1 pixel. When we hover upon this, there's a border on this button. Okay, what we are saying here is, when I hover upon this button, I want to have border of 1 pixel. So basically this border is adding extra width to this button.
Space.
So when you hover upon this, there's some extra width. So that extra width is pushing all of these content away. So now tell me the solution for it. What should we do? Now you guys are programmers, so think like a programmer.
Do you put the border pixel like lower?
There would
Right.
still be, if I were to put, if I were to
If-
put, let's say 0.5 pixel, even 0.5 pixel, it's still gonna do that. It's still gonna push it away. Even if you were to put 0.1 pixel, maybe it still does that. Look,
And if you get rid of the border, it's not gonna
Give
look
the
same.
button a border.
very good. Exactly. That's exactly what we want to do. Very good. So basically, you don't have to put border of none here. You have to put border of, let's say, black by default. Very good. So that's exactly what we want to do. So we want to give a border to this book, so that when the border is changed, the color is changed, so there's no effect, there's no visual effect on the screen. So look here now. Is something happening? Is it pushing it away? No, because now we are not applying border to something that doesn't have a border. So we are basically just changing the color of that border. We're just not doing anything else. We're just changing the color of the border. So that's why we wouldn't have any problem. Did you guys get it, or should I explain it again?
I
think-
got it.
Okay. What about others? Did you guys get it? I think I should explain it again. Okay. So what's happening here is, first we have put the border of none on this book button. Okay. How much time do we have until the meeting ends? Okay, we have 6 minutes. Okay. So first we did what? We put a border of none on this book button. Okay. Are you guys clear until this point that we have a border of none on the book button? Okay.
Yeah.
So what we are saying here is, when we hover upon this book button, I want to have border of 1 pixel. So what's happening here is, for example, this is our button. Okay, this is our button. So what I'm saying is, when I hover upon this button, I want to have some extra width here. So this is what's happening. It's taking up some extra space when I hover upon this element. So like this, when I hover upon this, it basically has this extra width. So basically, when you have some extra width on your button, what would happen to all of the other content that is aligned with this? It's basically going to push this content away. Why is that? Because now you have some extra width on this button.
So are you saying the other content
You have other
it
content.
moves because the button takes more space?
Yes, exactly. That.
Okay.
Okay, so other content is going to be
Got it.
moved away, pushed away, because this button now has more space. It wants more space for itself. Okay, so what was the solution for it? You guys have answered me perfectly. So what we can do is, instead of border none, we can have a prefixed border for this button. So when the color changes, the content isn't pushed away. So what we can do is, we're gonna say 1 pixel. So let me put a red color so you can see. So now we have this red border. Can you see? The button has this red border. So when we hover upon this button, only the color changes, nothing else happens. Okay, just the color is being changed. There's nothing extra space being added to this button. Okay, but we don't want the red color, we want it to be black. So here you go. Okay, so now we have this, but let's do some more fancy stuff like this. What's happening here? Like, what is this animation? This one. How do you think we can achieve this? Like, when I hover upon this, it basically extends.
Like, it's like a drop down?
No, not this one. This one is quite this one is quite complex. this one. Like when I hover upon this, can you see a line that is expanding from 0% width to 100% width, like this?
The line.
Yeah, the line under it, underline. Okay, so it's basically a really good, it's a really, it's a really nice pseudo class, just like hover. We're going to discuss some new pseudo classes today, but I think we should end this meeting and start a new one. Yeah, so I'm going to end this meeting and I'll send you a new link. Okay, please join that link.
All right.
Let me pause the recording. You can resume the recording and we can start it again. Okay. Oh my god. So what we can do is, what we want to do is, when I hover upon this, I want to have this line extending from this position to this position. So what I did here is, I created a div after this h4 inside the story with the name of line. Okay. So here I targeted the line. So by default I've put the line to have a width of 0% so that we cannot see it here. Okay, by default we don't want to see it here. And I put the height of 3 pixels on this line and background of red. Okay, so what we want to do now is, when I hover upon this story div, I want the line div to appear. Okay, so by default is 0%. What I want to do is, when I hover upon the story div, I want to change the width of line to be 100%. How can I do that? Like when I hover upon the story div, I want the effect to be applied to the line div.
So do you do hover
Hover on what?
line?
The line.
I want to hover upon the story div.
Oh, so you do it on story.
Yeah, good.
story
So
hover?
story. Yeah, very good. Story, hover. But there's a problem. If I were to do this, it's only going to have the hover effect on the story. But what we want to do is, when I hover upon the story, I want I want effects to be taken on the line. So how can I write this? I'll say story hover space dot line. So what this would mean is, when I hover upon the story, I want the effects to be applied on the line. So what we want to do? What do we want to do when I hover upon the story? What do I want to happen to the line?
Want it to show?
Like, yeah, show. How can I show it? By default it has a width of 0%.
So color?
By default it has a width of 0%.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we can't see it. So what should we do?
So you want to see it, right? Or you,
Yeah, I want to see it. So
So you put the width.
yeah, good. The width to be how much? I want it to have exactly the same width as its parent.
0.
Its parent isn't 0. 100%. Yes. So I'll say
No.
100%. So when I hover upon the story, I want the line to have a width of 100%. By default is 0, but when I hover upon it, I want the width to be 100%.
100%.
So look, the line is showing, but I want it to have a smooth effect. How can I do that?
Transition.
Very good. Transition in what? Like in hover or line? Like I put transition
Hover.
here or here. Okay, you're saying in hover, so let's put a transition here. But there is going to be a problem, and we have discussed this problem, I guess, around 2 to 3 times. Let's say 0.7 seconds. So when I hover upon it, yeah, it's good. But when I take my mouse out of it, what's happening?
It goes away.
Yeah, it instantly goes away. Like it doesn't have this effect. Like when I hover upon this and I take my mouse out, it has this smooth effect. So why do you think it's happening? It's happening because you have put transition on what? Only on hover. What you are saying here is that put transition only when it's hovered upon. So you're not saying what happens when you take the mouse out of that element. So that's the problem. You never put transition on hover. Always remember, you never put
But
transition.
if you put it online,
yeah,
and
exactly.
you take it
Good.
away.
Good. That's exactly what we have to do. We have to put transition in the line, so it doesn't matter whether you're taking your mouse inside the element or you're getting your mouse outside of the element. It should have the transition. So look, here we have its line extending. If I take my mouse out, it goes back. Okay, this was one way. This was one way to do it. Then there was another way to do it, and what was that? Using which pseudo elements? What have we discussed before this?
We did it right there on the line.
No. What I meant is we have discussed something, the invisible HTML elements,
Oh yeah.
the new pseudo elements.
The before and after?
Yeah, good. The before and after. So before and after does exactly the same thing, but without making your HTML messier. So you don't have to, put a certain div here and then align it here. What you can do is create an invisible element. Okay, let me remove this and let's do it with that way. Okay, so where do we want to put the div? First, you have to tell me that. You have to clear yourself up. Where do we want to put the div? Like, where do we want the line? Where do we want to put the line? Like where do we want? Like here, where do we want it? We want it in,
On our story.
yeah, exactly, our story. So what was the name of the story div? It was story. Okay,
Story.
so keep up with me please. So I'll say dot story. Okay, and then I'm gonna say double colons because this is for pseudo elements, and I'll say after. What would this after mean? It literally means after the story. It'll be after the story div. So I'll say the first thing it's gonna take from you is content. Like, what do you want to put after the story? So I'll say put what? Let's say hello. So what would happen is it's gonna put hello after the story. So you can see it's putting what? It's putting hello after the story. Okay, does it make any sense?
Yeah.
What if I were to say before? What would happen now?
Gonna put
It'll put it before.
Yeah, it's gonna put it before. Okay, so we want it after. Let's make another effect. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool effect, but let's do the after first. Do we want some content to be written here, or we just want the line only?
Just a line.
Yeah, so we don't want any content, so this content is going to be empty. Okay, so then we're gonna say the width of this is going to be 100%, just for us to see, and the height is going to be, let's say, 3 pixels, so we can see. And the background, this time let's put a yellow background, but you won't be able to see it. Why is that? Because by default the after is an inline element, and you cannot put width and height directly on inline elements. So what can we do in order to put specific width and height on the after element? After is an inline element, so we have to change.
You have to make it block.
Good, very good. So we can make it display to be blocked so that this width and height can be applied. Save it, and we still can see it because we have put backdrop filter and not background color. So we have this. Okay, so the question now remains is, do we want to show this div by default? Do we want to show this line by default, or do we want to hide it?
hide it.
Hide it. How do we hide it? Like, by default it's width of 100%. So if we were to make this width to be 0%, what would happen? What's gonna happen?
No, you can't see it at all.
Exactly, because it doesn't have any width. Okay, so we can't see it at all. Okay, so what we want to do now is, when I hover upon this story element, this story div, I want the line to be shown. So what is this line? Line is the after. So what we want to do is, when I hover upon the story, I want to have effect on the after. Okay, is it clear or not? When I hover upon the story, I want the effect to take, I want to take effect on it after. Like, when I hover upon the story, I want things to happen to the after. Just like previously, when I hover upon the story, I wanted the effect to be taken on the line. Similarly, this time as well, when I hover upon the story div, I want to have effect on the after element. So how can we write it?
So you have to target the story.
Very good. So I'm going to target the story, and
And
then
then you have to use the colons
colons.
again.
No, when I hover upon the story, first I have to hover, then I want to take the effect.
So hover
Very good. Hover, single colon, and then I want the effect to be taken on what?
after.
Very good. How do I write after?
Double
Very
colons.
good. Double colons and
After.
after. So now it does seem like we are doing some code. Yeah, because things are getting a lot tricky. Okay, so when I hover upon the story, I want the effect to be taken on the after. So what effect do I want to be taken on the after?
You want the line to
Yeah, to show itself.
show
So
itself.
how does it show itself? Like by default, it's going to be width 0. Like it's not going to be shown. So when I hover upon it, I want the width to be what?
100%.
Very good. I want the width to be 100%. Exactly. Good. So here you go. But there's no, there's no crazy effect. Like I want it to be smooth.
Um, so with the T, wait, what was the
And transition.
Yeah, transition. Good. Where do I put the transition? In the hover or in the after?
after?
Very good. In the after. So I'm gonna say transition to be. What should I write next? Transition and then.
Smooth.
Like which property do I want to make smooth? Like it's right in front of you. Yeah, I think I've heard something. What was it? All, yeah, all, and let's say 0.7 seconds. Like I want to have transition on all the elements in the hover, all the properties in the hover. So there you go. But I want it to be white. So instead of yellow, I'm gonna say white, and instead of 3 pixels, I'm gonna say 2 pixels. Here you go. So I want the cursor to be pointer. So I'll say cursor to be pointer. Like in the story, not here. So where's the story? I have to target the story specifically. So I'll say story, and I want the cursor to be the thing that what's the thing? The cursor should have a hand sign. Okay, so here you go. Okay, so there was an effect I was talking about. So what I want to do is, currently what's happening is there's a line that is extending from this side to this side. But what I want to do is I want to have another line that extend from this top section to this. Like there's a line that should move from this section to this one, and there should be another line that's going to move from this section to this one. Like they're going to be vice versa.
So do you target the before story
Very good.
before?
Exactly. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. So let's understand the problem first. So what I want to do is, currently what's happening is, here is our story. So when I hover upon this, there is a line that is extending from like this. When I hover upon it, wait, let me draw it. There's a line that is extending like this. Line is coming from this. What I want to do is now is I want to have this line as well as I want to have this line as well. So there would be two lines that would be moving vice versa. One would be moving from left to right, the other one would be at the top, and it's going to be moving from the right to left.
Would that be related to anywhere like before and after?
Exactly, that is exactly going to be related to the before and after. So basically after is being targeted. So what should we do now? What should we do now? Like I want to have a line at the top, like here as well. What should I do? I should simply do dot story, and I want to have a line before the story, like in this top section. Okay, so I'll put before, and the first thing is gonna take. It's in front of you. You just have to see it and then tell me. What's the first thing is going to take?
With
No. Before the word, there's something else.
Content.
content?
Yeah, good. So first thing before and after takes is the content. So do we want some content or not?
No.
No, we don't want the content. Good. So for the width, for the time being, I'm going to put 100% so that I can see where that is located. And I'll say height, similarly 2 pixels. And I'm going to say the background for the time being, let's make it red. And it's not going to have an effect. It's not going to be shown here. Why is that? Because by default, the before and after pseudo elements are display inline. So width and height are not going to be worked. So what should I do? What should I do in order to make width and height to be visible?
Display block.
Very good. Display block. Okay, now we have this at the top. Okay, so we want to arrange it. We want to have a width of 0% here. So let's, instead of 100%, I'm going to say 0%. So yeah, it's good. So what I want to do now is, when I hover upon this, I want to extend its width as well. So how should I do it? When I hover upon the story, I want to target the before element as well.
So story, column, hover,
Very
column
good.
before.
Story, colon, hover, colon before, like this.
Yeah.
See it again. Think again.
Story.
Like this is the pseudo class. This is the pseudo element. What's the difference between the pseudo class and pseudo elements? How do we write it? Pseudo classes are targeted with a single colon, whereas the pseudo elements are targeted with the double colon. Yeah. So what we want to do is, we want to increase the width from 0% to 100%. So here you go. But again, there's a problem. What's the problem?
The line is not going back.
No. There's another problem. There's no smoothness here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how can we put the smoothness?
Transition off.
Transition. Very good. Transition. So just a single section is taking around 2 hours for us to build. That's too much. 3.7. But that's good, because this has a lot of work, and you guys are gonna learn a lot of it, a lot from it, if you do it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the problem with this one?
The color.
No. There's another problem. The color isn't the big deal. I wanted it to be like this. One should start from this point, the other one should start from this point. So that's the main problem. So how can we target it? How can we, make a solution for it? What do you think? So we want this red line to
Can you after?
no.
Before?
I want
Can you
this.
repeat the question?
Okay, the question is, you need to see the red and white lines. They both are starting from the same direction, like from left to right. What I want is, I want the white line to start from left to right, whereas I want the red line to start from right to left.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the question. So why isn't it happening? I want it to be like that. They're starting from the same position. Both of them are starting from left to right.
Can you go back to the coding? So
Okay.
Is it in the coding?
Yeah, it is in the coding. Everything is in the coding.
Oh, where are you doing that?
Okay, so let me give you a hint. When you make an element, where does the English language start from? The right or the left?
Left.
Left. So basically that's the problem. So everything you are going to create is going to start from the left, but we can push something to the right, or something to the left, or something to the top, or something to the bottom. So in this case, we want this line, that is the line that is starting from the left section, to be pushed all the way to the right section. And we did this in KFC when we were making that ribbon in the price section. Do you guys remember the ribbon? Yeah. Which margin?
Margin right.
Margin right or left? Margin left. Yeah, right, left or right?
Margin left auto.
Margin left auto. Yeah. So before, we're gonna say margin left auto. So basically it's covering everything you have already studied in the course. Here you go. Okay, so let me give this a white color, maybe instead of red. Let's give a white. Here you go. Okay, but I want to have some spacing, before and after. Okay, before and after. Okay, so this is your after. So let me put a margin top or bottom. Should I put a margin top on after, or should I put a margin bottom on after? Like I want to have some space from this side. So margin top or margin bottom?
Margin bottom.
This is the.
From the bottom or top?
That's what I'm asking. From the bottom or top? So we want this to have a margin from top side or bottom side? This one, the after one. Like if we were to put margin bottom, it's gonna have some space on the bottom side. I want a space from the top side. So what I'll say is margin top maybe 0.5 frames. But there's a problem here. But it's gonna sort it out. So it's too much, I guess. Let's say 0.2. Yeah, it's good. Similarly, we're gonna do it with the sorry, before as well. So this one, what should I put? Margin top or margin bottom? So this is the top section. Margin bottom or margin top? Like I want a space from.
Top?
Top is gonna put space from top. I want it
Oh,
bottom.
bottom.
Okay. So margin, and then bottom maybe 0. Which how much was it? 2. I guess it was 2. Yeah, it was 2. So here you go. Yeah, this is a cool effect. I want to do the same thing with this one as well. So I don't have to do it again and again. What I can do is,
Just copy it.
yeah, or we can do another thing. We can put comma here, and we can say dot brands and then colon before. Okay. Similarly, for the after we can put comma here, and we can say dot brands and then after. Similarly, we can put comma here, and we can put dot brands hover colon after. Similarly, we can do it here as well. Let me copy it, and I can say instead of story, I'll say brands. So it's going to target both of them simultaneously. So here you go. Here we have the stories. Here we have the brands. Yeah, it does look good. Okay, so this nav had a lot of work, to be honest, but it was good, I guess. Was it good or not?
Yeah, it took
Yeah.
us time to understand it, but we got
Exactly.
it.
Yes. When you understand all of it, it's gonna be it's gonna be really fun. It'll be a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
fun to
good.
learn.
It's good, but what I noticed is that it's easier to say the answers when you kind of simplify them.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So that's,
Okay.
but we're getting it.
Okay, that's good. If that feels really good, to be honest. Okay, so that is going to be it for today, because this nav section has a lot of work, to be honest, and you guys have to complete it before tomorrow's class, and you have to submit it before tomorrow's class as well. Okay, we are not gonna move forward unless you submit this. Okay, that is the only assignment you have for today. Just the nav bar, just the nav bar, but with all of the animations, all of these animations. Okay,
Okay.
just the nav bar. Okay, this single nav bar has around 110 lines of CSS and around, let's say, 50 lines of, so basically around 160 lines of code. Just this nav bar, because this is, if you were to make this yourself by understanding everything, each concept, so it's gonna help you a lot when we discuss the newer concepts. So that is the only thing you have for today. Okay, and this is an individual task. You don't have to work in teams, just the individual person.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, thank
Okay,
you.
okay, great. So inshallah we'll meet tomorrow maybe. Okay.
Yes, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Okay, you guys can leave. Okay, Allah Hafiz.